A preview for The Ultimate Fighter was released today, and it showed Conor McGregor shoving Michael Chandler during a face-off. We can't show the clip, but here are some screenshots. Conor pushed him pretty hard. The Mac Life reposted the photos to their Instagram. Chandler left a comment saying barely even felt it. Dana White announces the full main card for UFC 290.
What's up, everybody? I am UFC President Dana White. International Fight Week is coming back to Las Vegas on July 8th at the T-Mobile Arena, and I am happy to announce that we have finally finished the main card. Alexander Volkanovski and Yair Rodriguez will headline UFC 290 to unify the featherweight belt. Volkanovski is the #2 ranked pound-for-pound fighter in the world and is undefeated as a featherweight in the UFC. And he is facing interim champion and Mexican superstar Yair Rodriguez. Yair is coming off an incredible win back in February when he won the interim title with a submission win over Josh Emmett. The co-main event will feature another incredible matchup, Brandon Moreno versus Alexandre Pantoja. Two Mexican champions, plus Australia and Brazil will be represented in our co-headliners for International Fight Week. Also, on UFC 290, Robert Whittaker versus Dricus du Plessis, which will determine who will fight Israel Adesanya next for the middleweight title. Plus, Jalen Turner will face Dan Hooker, and Bo Nickel will look to continue his dominance against the Ultimate Fighter standout, Tresean Gore. The prelims will be live and free on ABC and ESPN, the network. The featured bout is Robbie Lawler versus Nico Price. Lawler will be inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame on Thursday, July 7th, for his fight versus Rory McDonald. Then he fights on Saturday. Robbie is the former UFC and Strikeforce world champion, and this kid is never in a boring fight. I found Robbie Lawler when he was 19 years old, and UFC 290 will be the final fight of his amazing 22-year career. Also on the prelims, Sean Brady versus Jack Della Maddalena, and the return of former flyweight champion Davison Figueiredo.
Josh Thomson and Jon McCarthy react to Tony Ferguson crashing into two parked cars, flipping his truck, and getting arrested for a DUI.
Let's just look at it this way. First off, thank God that Tony is not hurt, because could have been seriously hurt in that situation, or anyone else. Thank God there was nobody else that was hurt from that situation. This is what Uber are for. Okay, you have a Lyft or you have an Uber. If you have drinks, don't drive. You know, I just saw Tony in the airport, you know, a month ago, if that. You know, sat there and talked to him, and you know, he was with his wife and stuff. And you don't need this kind of man. It's bad. You know, Tony will make it through it, but don't drink and drive, man.
I'm just glad that no one was hurt. Him,
his
family, if they were in the car, and whoever was, you know, if someone was in the parked car, if someone was just in the neighborhood or nearby that could have potentially been hurt. Thank God no one was hurt. That being said,
don't drink and drive.
Yeah, definitely don't drink and drive. But on top of that, just, man, you got so much, man. So much. Like, you don't need to. The $28 or the, I just cannot get myself to not do it. Like, it's so free. I look at the $100. Don't get me wrong, like, I have, and it's been like, you wake up the next day and go, you dumb, like, what were you thinking? You know, and like, sure, I felt like I was fine, but you wake up in the morning, you're like, yeah, I wasn't fine, because you have a little bit of a, I feel like, which means you weren't fine. Which means you weren't fine. He's gonna lose his license for a year, and it's an automatic $10,000 fine. Just
automatic $10,000 fine, and automatic. How much is the lawyer going to cost?
Yeah, I just
more than that.
Yeah, I mean, situation, but I hope he learns from this. I really like Tony, man.
So Jon Jones' return at UFC 285 turned out to be the highest grossing commercial pay-per-view for the UFC in the past 12 months. The CFO of Endeavor stated at UFC, "We continue to deliver more record-breaking events across the globe. UFC 284 in Perth was Australia's highest grossing event of any kind, and UFC 285 in Las Vegas was the UFC's highest grossing commercial pay-per-view event within the past 12 months. Additionally, UFC 286 in London was the highest grossing event in O2 Arena history." Jon Jones reacted to this. Abraham Kawa reposted it to his Instagram story. He wrote, "@Johnny Bones is that guy." Jon reposted it. Jon also reposted this. It says, "The People's Champ." Michael Bisping and Anthony Smith on the Believe You Me podcast preview the potential bout between Aljamain Sterling and Sean O'Malley. They react to the face-off they had at UFC 288 and Merab Dvalishvili stealing O'Malley's jacket.
All right, so some people might say that that's an ugly scene, an ugly stain on the sport of mixed martial arts. The reality
I wouldn't
is,
go that far. It's just
this is promotion. It's promotion. I liked it. A little bit of, I mean, I'm certainly interested in seeing the fight with O'Malley and Aljamain now. So it did that job. No, I loved it. I loved every second of it. But call me a flawed human being. I don't mind a bit of drama.
I enjoyed the drama. It feels cringy at times. I just didn't like the cringiness feeling to it. But I'm excited about the fight. I like that they genuinely don't like each other. I definitely don't mind that. And that was clear. I love that. I hope that in all the promos that they put out, that they make sure they get in Merab putting his jacket on.
If I was a fighter, if I was Merab, one of my prized possessions would be a picture of me in that jacket.
Oh, if that was me, you'd have never got the
on
jacket
the wall.
Back.
Oh, no way.
No way.
Well,
once I'm wearing it, it's mine.
They almost got into a fight over it, though, didn't they? I think that's what was going on. It was all hell was breaking loose.
Henry Cejudo responds to remarks from Israel Adesanya, Alexander Volkanovski, and Conor McGregor. As you guys know, Izzy had some harsh words for Henry prior to UFC 288.
I don't like Henry. See, I don't have to make no bullshit up and try and justify it. I'll just say I don't like it. I don't like the munchkin. I don't like Henry Cejudo. Yeah, I said your name, you little fucking bitch. Nah, it's just because for me, like I said, for such a smart man, he let his emotions cloud his judgment. Yeah. And he starts to get real hater vibes because he thinks that me being great takes away from his greatness. Well, I'm like, nah, you're great in your own lane. You do your thing. You do your thing, king. Cringe king.
Henry responded saying, I'm actually flattered that guys like Conor, I know Conor and Izzy and Volk, they're probably cheering, but as much as I could give it, I could take it too. And I appreciate it, because they're watching, you know what I'm saying? I really can take it. I don't take any of that personally. Anything from nobody. I've done my I've reached accolades that these dudes wish they've accomplished. 6 title defenses, 9 title defenses. It doesn't matter. I like my resume better. And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post future ones. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's in reference to Anthony Smith saying that this upcoming fight against Johnny Walker will be his breakout moment. It's from Alex Matthews. It says every Anthony Smith fight is his breakout moment. The second one's from Rice Cake Johnson. It's in reference to the media member that disrespected Nick Diaz at the Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz press conference. It says Derek just made the worst decision of his life. RIP Derek from Better Media. And the final one's from Jay Sterling. It's in reference to Henry Cejudo's reaction video to his fight against Aljo. It says it's good to see that Cejudo's wife is honest with him and telling him what he should have done differently, rather than just being a yes man like how any other wife could and would be. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured on the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. If you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen to get caught up. And make sure to go subscribe to our second channel where we post our exclusive MMA interviews.